Hi everyone, my name is Mohammad Abdul Rahman, and in this video I'll be talking about Sprint 3, the final sprint in the series, which is also an extract of the final product presentation. Uh, let's move on to the next slide. Here I'll talk about my individual contribution towards the group and the group contributions as well. So let's begin with contribution to the group. Sprint start date 2nd of June, ended at 12th of June. The tasks that have contributed is literature review, reviewing case studies, doing gap analysis, and finding the best suitable hypothetical approach. Total hours I worked is 68, that accounts to 6 pointed hours per day. My individual contributions towards the project are designing the work breakdown structure, creating data flow diagrams, for example, activity and entity relationship diagrams, managing the team's overall performance and tracking the progress using Scrum Master. Now, moving on to the next slide, we have the methodologies that we have used. We have used descriptive approach. The data types is qualitative and quantitative research methods and surveys. Uh, Here on the right we have hypothesis diagram. So in hypothesis we justify the importance, usefulness, and ease of use of the electronic shelf labeling over the existing price labeling system in the supermarkets. On the next slide we have basic definitions of agile principle and Scrum methodology. Scrum methodology is also known as sprints. In the next slide, we have work breakdown structure. So the structure is divided into two phases, phase one and phase two. Phase one, we have sprint one, then we have sprint two, and then sprint three. So sprint one and two are already done. There are a few changes here and there in the sprint. Sprint three, we have the final documentation tasks that are involved, which are ongoing. And then in phase two, we have coding, testing, and deployment, which will be done by the development team. In the next slide, we have the gap analysis, uh, data flow diagram as its model. So this is an extension of Sprint 2. So in this model, I had to make some changes here and there, and then in 2B model as well, according to the client's requirement. The next slide, we have the activity diagram. In this activity diagram, we have three main actors: the pricing team, the management approval team, and then the store manager. And the process begins with creating a offer scheme, adding items to the list, adding offer details to that list. Then after creation of the offer list, the list is sent to approval to the management team, and then the management team views that offer and checks the pricing and approves it, and then it sends the updated pricing list to the store manager, where he accesses the list and applies to the store, to the individual store, where it updates the stock inventory pricing directly from the server, the store management server, and then it resets the prices on the ESL tags remotely by accessing the ESL server. So in this diagram, we have three most important API calls. First API call is done in the offer table here, and then we in the next API call, the second one is in the update inventory table, in which the item prices are updated. This one is the third API call here in the reset ESL tags, where the prices are reset automatically from the ESL server, automatically and manually as well. So in the next slide, we have entity relationship diagram. Let me open it in my browser for a clear view. So here we have the tables such as company, store, user table with user details, user access control table, and below that we have the offer table, the most important table of all, with the offer details, the creation date, the start date, the end date of the offer, and to the left we have the offer status table. Below it we have the offer details table that contains the offer details and the item table that contains item name and item ERP internal ID. And at the last we have the ESL tag item table, that is a standalone table that will be only accessed by the ESL server in the backend, that has got attributes like ERP internal ID, date of creation, and user internal ID, who links the tag with item. That means that here in this attribute, every individual ESL tag will have its own unique ID. So it will update those ESL tags on the shelf either automatically or by a click. So that's all in this video for now. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.